Alright, making another video about RX Vega because there's been a performance leak. Now, this leak is kind of old anyways, and well, I mean a day or two meaning. And then the RX Vega NDA is up in the morning, I'm sure. So in 12 hours or something. So I guess this is a little pointless video, but I wanted to talk about it. I mean, there's going to be Vega benchmarks everywhere tomorrow. But I wanted to talk about it. To me, it just says that Vega's looking great. I guess there was so much doom and gloom and saying that it sucks that now just being decent, it looks much better by comparison. So take that, NeoGaf. All your doom and gloom and it makes it look better. Now, I'm sure you can still find more to doom and gloom about once it comes out. But anyways, but I guess this is a leaked performance, like a aggregate, probably like a site tested like 20 games or whatever, and came up with this chart of averages. And it's right what we thought. The Vega 64 is just about as powerful as the GTX 1080 non-TI, and just a little hair more powerful. And the RX Vega 56, which is the one AMD is apparently touting now. They're telling reviewers to focus on the 56 because they think it has a great performance value proposition because it's faster than a 1070 for less money, evidently. You can see there that the Vega 56 CU beats the 1070, and the Vega 64 beats the 1080. And even more interesting, this is the air-cooled Vega 64. I don't know if that means reviews for the water-cooled edition are not coming out tomorrow. But if you look at this leaked chart that came earlier, this, for example, this particular brand of liquid-cooled, and I don't think this is overclocked, I think these are stock, get a significant increase in boost clock and base clock going to the water-cooled edition. I mean, the max clock goes from, the boost clock, let's say, goes from 1546 to 1677. I did the math, and that's about an 8% performance increase. So you're getting a card that's about 10% faster yet that AMD has that's not on here, which will not put it above the 1080 Ti, but it will get it closer. And even you can do that calculation, like if you do it percent, let's say if you multiply this overclocked RX Vega 64 times 8% more performance, you come up with a 127.44, which puts it somewhat closer. Just imagine a 127.44 in here. Puts it up to like an overclocked Vega 64 is going to challenge a stock 1080 Ti. And they've got, I mean, this graph, I wouldn't put too much into it because selection of games. Somebody was noting that, hey, a 1080 Ti overclock isn't gaining 23% performance, which apparently it does here. So he's like, this chart must be wrong because they've got the 1080 Ti gaining too much performance. I don't know about all that. I'm just going to go with what the chart says. But yeah, the Vega's looking solid then. This is all pointless anyway because you're not going to be able to get one. Point of fact. You are not going to be able to get one anywhere because of crypto mining for gosh knows how long. Sadly. But yeah, and one of the most interesting things is one of the things NVIDIA always hits AMD with is, oh, the overclocking is so bad, blah blah blah. We overclock much better. But what you see here is that the Vega is actually gaining more via overclocking than NVIDIA is. Like here it gains, the 1070 only gains 10% via overclocking. The 56 CU Vega gains 17%. So that's very, very good news for the Vega as well. I mean, we'll see if that holds up, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, I think this is very positive. It shows that a air-cooled Vega is beating the 1080 Fe, about the same, but a little faster. And so that means the liquid cooled Vega. Now I don't know where overclocked versions and all that factor in, but if you go by this chart, the overclocked Vega gains more than the overclocked NVIDIA cards anyway, so it's not a problem. And yeah, the liquid cooled Vega is going to be a beast, and I would, venture to say in a few spots it's going to challenge the 1080 Ti. On average it'll be slower, but I mean it's close enough that in some games, I suspect, it may the odd AMD favoring game here and there may outrun a 1080 Ti, which is NVIDIA's fastest card. So, overall, pretty good result, I think, for AMD, and we know they have better drivers. So over time, I think just that they have a better architecture, so that over time the power increases more. Like, just look at this. Everyone's, acted like the Fury X was beaten badly by the 980 Ti. Well, look at according to their benchmarks, they're now tied at base clock, or if you don't overclock either one. Actually, the Fury X just knows that's AMD's drivers for you. Because nobody was thinking the Fury X was faster than NVIDIA's fastest card at the time. Now, overclocking, they're showing the 980 Ti was way faster, but still. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's just all to say that the RX Vega is looking pretty strong here. It's a power hog, I'll give it that, but yet its power draw per flop is actually lower than NVIDIA. Nobody wants to talk about that either, I noticed. Like for given teraflops, it's drawing less power. Like the 56 CU, I believe, if I recall, has about as much or more teraflops as the 1080. But if you look at the 1080 Ti, the 1080 Ti has 250 watt TDP. And I think the Vega 56 was like 210 watt TDP as it was. Something like that. Whatever the case, the Vega is still, the AMD's architecture is still putting out more flops per watt. Now, gaming performance per watt's another story, but so I mean, it's looking good for AMD. I'll be very fascinated to see the benchmarks tomorrow. Can't wait.